AI is transforming how we build websites, web apps, and mobile applications. So if you are passionate about development and want to stay ahead of the curve, let's dive into the future of coding together by building a mobile application called AI Assistant. And we are going to use AI to build the entire project. By the end of this video, you can start to build your dream mobile application. In this video, I will show you step by step how to build mobile or web applications using AI. In case you want more videos like this, then do me a favor by subscribing, share, and comment for more videos like this. With this one being said, let's look at a live demo about the project that we are going to build. And this is the welcome screen, and it says that, hello there, I'm your personal AI assistant. And the best part is that we're going to use free API key that we can use for unlimited usage from DeepSeek AI. And to start using this application, I'm going to click on the start chatting, and we have a new screen, and that is a home page with bottom tabs navigation, as you can see over here. At the home page, we have start new chat and then some template that we can begin with. For example, creative ideas, answer questions, problem solving, and writing help. And we have some activities here, and that is the total conversations, total messages, and then some recent conversations. If I click on the view all, and this is the chat history. In here, I can continue with my existing chat or I can delete. For example, if I click on this one, this is my previous chat. I can continue to chat or I can view all the history and also perform some actions like deleting. Let's say that I want to delete what is coding here. When I click on delete, it has been deleted, and I can click on the delete all to delete all the chat. Let's begin with a new chat. If I click on that, and in here, if I say that HTML code for logging in and then submit, and AI is thinking, so let's wait. And indeed, we got the response. As you can see, it is well formatted. So guys, this is what we are going to build. Even if I reload, I will still see my existing chat. If I click on the view all or the history, I have my existing chat. And for this, we are using React Native Local Storage. With this one being said, let's look at the process involved to build this project. Before we dive in, let's set up our environment. And for this project, we are going to use React Native. With React Native, we can build mobile applications for both Android and iOS with a single code base. Expo was built on top of React Native to facilitate development. And this is what we are going to use. Once again, we don't need to be familiar with React Native or Expo. AI is going to help us to build the application. Now that we know the framework that we are going to use to build the mobile application, the next step is that make sure to have NodeJS being installed. And the main purpose of NodeJS here is to help us to run our React Native applications. We are not going to write any NodeJS code here, but instead we're going to use it to run our mobile applications. And for the AI editor, we are going to use Cursor. You can use any AI editor of your choice. The process that we are going to use will be applied irrespective of any AI editor that you are going to use. But in case you want to follow along, then I advise you to use Cursor AI. If you register, you can use it for free for 2 weeks, where we have access to all the pro features. And this is what we are going to use. The next tool that we are going to use is Xcode. And Xcode is going to help us to test our application, and this one is for only Mac users. So in case you are on Windows, then you can download what is called Android Studio. So if you visit developer.android.com and then below here click on download Android Studio, I have already downloaded and this is the installation process. I'm going to click on next, and then click on the standard, and then next, and then finish. Then click on the more actions, and then start virtual device manager. And we have these devices that we can use. I'm going to use Physics 6 API, and then click on this icon to launch the device. And we have our simulator ready to test our mobile application that we are going to build. Before using AI to build projects, the next step is you need to have what is called PRD, and that is Product Requirement Document. And this document includes the project overview, the features, the target audience, the tech stack, and then the NPM packages. Before preparing the PRD, let's have our project up and running. And for this step, I prefer to do it manually. So first step is that have a folder, and I'm going to call this one as mobile chat app. And I'm going to open this folder in Cursor Editor. So let's visit the official website for Expo, how we can create an application using Expo. So click on the documentations here, and there is a command for creating React Native application using Expo. And this is a manual step that we are implementing. For the rest of the coding, AI is going to help us with that. So let me open the terminal and then paste it, and then space and dot. For this one is going to use the name of our folder and then hit enter. And to run the application on Android, use npm run Android, and this one is for iOS, and then we can also run it on the web. And let me begin with the Android. I'm going to copy that, and then make sure you have your simulator being ready here as we did, and then hit enter. Alright, this port is being taken, so let me use different ports by hitting enter for yes. And then it is asking to install Expo Go version, and then hit enter for that. Alright, and we have our application running on the Android Studio. And in case I want to use the iOS simulator, I'm going to shut this one down. I'm going to use the iOS and then npm run iOS and then hit enter. Alright, and then yes for this. It is using a different port. Alright, and there we go. This is our fresh React Native application using Expo. Now that we have our application ready, it is time for us to use the AI to start to build our AI assistant application. So the first step is that we need to have the PRD about this project. When it comes to the preparation of PRDs, we have different ways to use. Either we use ChatGPT or Gemini or DeepSeek for generating of the PRDs. That process involves series of manual works. I'm going to show you the easiest way to generate your PRD using Cursor Editor. So click on the chat window here, and then make sure to select the agent and then the latest version of Claude. By the time of recording this video, we have Claude 4. And Cursor has introduced what is called to-dos. And this feature is a built-in. You don't have to do any configurations. And I will show you as we move on. So in here, to be able to prepare the PRD, all what we have to provide is the overview about your project and then the features needed. So in here, I'm going to provide as AI powered chat. And then this is a description that goes like this: real-time conversations with AI assistant using Open Router API. And I'll show you how to get your keys from Open Router. Then I'm going to list the features by hitting Shift Enter to move on to the next line. I'm going to say that features here. And then for feature number 1, we are going to have multiple chat sessions. And then number 2, chat history. And then welcome screen, tab navigation, rich text support, delete and clear chat history, and then quick start prompt. And then below here, we're going to provide the user flow. So I'm going to say that user flow, and it begins with welcome screen and then to home screen with bottom tabs. And this bottom tabs are going to have home and then chat, history, and then chat. And that is all what we need for this to prepare our PRD. So up here, I'm going to say that prepare a PRD based on and save it on a file called prd.md and then submit. And we have a complete PRD for our project. So in here, we can review and make any modifications. The first section here is document information, the product name, the version, the date, and then the owner. And then we have the project overview that states the vision statement, product goals, target audience, the core features here, chat history, tab navigation, and others. So the question is that why do we need PRD? The answer is that we need to provide enough information for the AI to be able to know exactly what we want without repeating ourselves when providing prompts. And this one is going to help the AI to know exactly what to do. Now that we have the PRD, the next step is we need to provide what is called rules. So why do we need rules? The answer is that we want the AI to follow certain instructions when giving responses. And in Cursor, we can set up our rules the way we want it. So let me show you how to set up the rules. Click on the settings here and then rules. Let me hide the sidebar. Alright, so click on the rules and memories here. And Cursor offers different kinds of rules. One is user rule, and this rule will be applicable to any prompt that you're going to provide. And the next one going to be the project rule. The project rule is project specific rule, which means that the rules will be applied to the project that we are going to build. We have a couple of ways to generate our rules, either by manual or we can allow Cursor to generate the rules for us. And we're going to use the automatic generation of the rules. To do that, unless the AI knows exactly what to do about our project. And lucky for us, we have the PRD. So we're going to base on the PRD for the AI to generate our rules for us. And to use the automatic generation of the rules, bring / and then we have generate cursor rules and then select that. And let's reference the file as a starting point by using @ and then file, and let's locate the file as PRD. With this one, hit enter, and now Cursor is going to generate our rules for this project, and it will be available at the project level here. So let's wait. It says that I will generate Cursor rules based on the PRD being provided, and this is the folder that's going to contain all the rules for our project. So the first rule here is going to be the project structure, and let's see. It is going to implement the rules for us, and it is done with the first rule, and that is the project structure rule. Let's see what Cursor has generated, and this is a description about the rules, and we have the project overview and then the core architecture, and then the screens needed, and then performance requirement. Alright, and we also have one more rule, and that is React Native patterns. Let me walk you through how we can apply the rules. In here we have always apply. Let me accept this one. If I click on that, we have always apply. And for this one, we're going to apply to every chart and CMD case session. And this rule will be attached to every chart and then command. Apart from that, we have apply intelligently. And for this one, the agent will decide based on the relevance on the description. and then apply to specific file. For this one, when file matches a specified pattern, we are going to use apply intelligently. So let's wait. I think it is done generating the rules. Alright, I think it is generating the, let me see, UI UX design guidelines and then the Open Router API. Perfect. Great. So let's wait while it is implementing the rest of the rules for us. Alright, based on the PRD, these are the rules that Cursor has generated for us. But we can refine, for example, I don't want to use any testing here, so I'm going to delete that. Alright, and then for the project structure, I like this, and then the Open Router. Perfect. So assuming that these are the rules that we need for a project. The next step is we are going to implement the actual logic. Now, the next step is that we need to have some inspiration about how the UI is going to look like. And we have a lot of websites for inspiration. And the one that I use is called mobbing.com, which is this one. And in here, we have some inspiration about the kind of app that you want to build. Let's say that I want to build chatbot mobile app, which is chatbot screen. So in case this is what I want, I'm going to take a screenshot of each of these and then save it on my computer. For me, I have prepared sample UIs, which is this one. And then if I open that, I have the home screen, which is this one. And this is what I use to build the application. And then this is the welcome screen. And then my home screen, the chat history, and then the chat screen. In case when I use my guidelines or my inspiration, I'll provide all the assets for you. So assuming that this is what we want as an inspiration, then let's go ahead and start to use Cursor to build this application. Now that we have the PRD, it is time for us to build this application using Cursor AI. But before that, let's provide the API key or the model API that we are going to use. If you visit openrouter.ai, there is a platform that has collection of models, and with one API key, you can interact with multiple models. And lucky for us, OpenRouter offers free API key for some models. So if you click on the models here, make sure to sign up, and then these are the models that OpenRouter support or provide. And then you're gonna search for the free ones. We have Cypher Alpha for free, but I want DeepSeek, and then attach free at the end, which is this one here. So click on that, and then in here click on the API, and then let's create our API key, and then create API, provide a name as chat-app, and then leave blank for unlimited usage, and then create. And this is the API key that we're going to use. Copy that and back to the chat. Let me open a new chat window, and I'm going to say that let's build this app. It knows exactly because we have the roots and then the PRD, and then shift enter. I'm going to say that my API key is equal to that. And then I want a sample code how you're going to interact with the API or the model. So back to the DeepSeek model here, we have the sample code for Python and JavaScript. Click on the TypeScript and then copy the code back to the editor here, and then I'm going to say sample code and then paste and then hit enter. So let's wait while Cursor is building our application for us. As you can see, the hard part is to prepare your PRD. After that, then use the AI to build the application. So let's wait while Cursor is busy building our application. And at the beginning of the video, I made mention that Cursor has introduced a new feature called to-dos. It has listed all the to-dos for this project. As you can see, this one involves series of instructions to build this project. And Cursor AI has streamlined this process by listing the to-do. So as soon as it finishes implementing a certain to-do, it's going to check that. With this one, we can monitor and keep track which feature has been implemented and the one that hasn't been implemented. And that is the power of Cursor AI. So the first to do here is it is installing all the required dependencies. That is the first to do, and then below here, as you can see, it is installing all the packages needed. Of course, it has checked the one that has been done, and then the next one going to be the second one on the to-do list. And let's wait while Cursor is busy implementing the logic for us. And as you can see here, it is 11 of 11, which means that it is done. So to run the application, let me open the terminal. Let me reduce the window here, and then we have beautiful error. Let me shut down by pressing Command C or Control C, and then let me rerun it by using npm run iOS. Alright, so this is the home screen, and then the chat history, and then the chat here. It is time for us to use our inspiration to have the exact design the way we want it. So back to the chat here, let me open that, and then I'm going to say that let me reference the image by clicking on this icon, and then mine is on my desktop. I want the welcome screen, so let me select. I'm gonna say that redesign the welcome screen to have the exact design as in the attached image, and then submit. And in here, it is going to recreate the welcome screen to match the exact design with a gradient background, centered robot icon, and then modern styling. It is done, but we don't have the welcome screen. Let me reload by pressing R. And of course, the welcome screen is not showing. So I'm going to say that upon app loaded, the welcome screen is not showing. Alright, it is done. So let me reload. And there we go. We have the welcome screen similar to what we provided. If I click on start chatting now, this is the home, and then the chat history, and then the chat here. We are going to redesign this home screen to use the one that we have provided as the guideline. So I'm going to select the image that is the home screen. I'm going to say that redesign the home screen to have exact design as the image attached. Alright, it is done. So let's review. And indeed, we have the exact design as compared to the inspiration provided. Here, I'm going to provide both the chat history and then the chat to redesign. So here, I'm going to reference both the images, the history, and then the chat. I think we can reference one image at a time. Let me try again if I can include more image. Let me remove this and start from scratch. History, and then the chat area. Alright, we can reference multiple images. I'm going to say that redesign the chat history and chat screens to have exact design as the images attached, and then submit. And it is done. So let's look at the preview. So let's open the terminal, and to fix this error, it's going to be pretty easily. I'm going to copy the error message, and then back to the chat here, I'm going to use at and then linter errors. I'm going to say that fix this and then paste the error and submit. Alright, so let me reload by pressing R, and here we go. If I click on chat here, and we have no chat yet. And then let me start a new chat. If I say hi and then send, AI is typing. As you can see, it has replicated. And we have the result from the AI. If I say what is JavaScript, then send, and perfect. We have the result from the AI. Alright guys, so here ends this video on using AI to build a mobile application, which is AI Assistant.